Hello my 7 deadly sins, family and friends, welcome back to another video. I apologise again for the lack of them. I'm still trying to get better, but let's leave it at that, hey. So, Derieri. Let's have a quick look at her. She is the new unit out, and she, even at low potential, is very strong because of her such high multipliers. So if we have a quick jump in, have a quick look at her kit, so you can have a look. Iron Stomach, I think this is the most stupidest thing they've probably done, and it's just a cop-out to say, hey, if you're fed up of getting stuffed, get Derieri. Absolute stupid. Just get rid of the stuff thing, right? Anyway, her Gauntlet passive. The hero gains strike combo for 5 seconds with each hit on the enemy, performing another action while continuously using the special attack, normal skill, or ultimate move. It cancels the previous action. And the strike combo increases showdown damage by 10%. Normal attack, just standard stuff, and then we get to the big ones, right? So her special attack, she becomes immune to reactions, so that means she won't be able to get knocked back. But if they have elemental stuns, like the Golems in the Sector 7, I believe it's Sector 7, she can still get stunned, just how Escanor can get stunned. But knockbacks and stuff, she should not be knocked back, right? It does 574% of attack. Massive, massive multiplier. It also, if all hits land, reduces the ultimate move magic consumption by 50%, which means instead of 2 magic gauge, she'll only need 1 to use the ultimate. Her normal skill inflicts 501%, another 500% is crazy, right? Attack with the final strike inflicting showdown, and showdown increases damage taken from the caster by 30%, so she's going to do 30% more damage basically. On top of that, each hit from her will deal an extra 10% of her attack. Nothing special with her attack skill, and then here is her ultimate. A whopping 1150% of attack, and the first strike of the 3 hits stuns for 3 seconds. Now, I'm not sure why they did this, because pretty much all bosses can't be stunned, to my knowledge. But hey ho. And now I know it says first hit 350, second hit 380, it's the third hit 420. Each of these sections, because you can reuse her ultimate 3 times, each of these is like lots of little hits to make that 350, 380, 420. Now, if strike combo is at max stacks, she will gain the ability to use ultimate move Devastator, right? And that inflicts 650% of attack, then removes strike combo. Now, you might have been like, whoa, 50 times, that's going to take a long time to get the max of strike combo. Well, all of her hits is like hitting multiple times, especially her ultimate is literally a flurry of attacks. And that's how you're going to ramp up to get the max stacks. So it allows you to basically use her ultimate for 1 cost after doing all of your combos, and then because of all these hits that you're doing on the enemy, it should then max out strike combos, so then you can use her ultimate or this Devastator ultimate again to do an insane amount of damage. That's a total of 1800% of her attack as damage. Absolutely nuts. Now, armor. Of course, we will want the Resistance and Revolution engraved gear. This is the one that you want for her gauntlets because it deals with strike combo. And if you don't know what it does, each darkness hit on an enemy while strike combo is active has a 35% chance to inflict additional damage, equal to 20% of attack, and additionally granting strike combo for 5 seconds. So this will really help up get to that 50 stacks of strike combo. On top of that, using the special attack increases the ult move's crit chance and crit damage by 20% for 7 seconds. This is really good. Now, this is very important to know because it only lasts for 7 seconds. And because of this, the combo, I will go over this in a second, but just to showcase, what we will want to do is we will want to start with the ease first, and then we're going to go to the special attacks, and then the ultimate move. Because of course we want the buffed crit chance to crit damage for the ult move, as well as the ultimate move reduction. So that is her engraved gear. It also gives darkness attack and buff duration. This is going to help make this 7 second last a bit longer, for example. The engraved bonus that I've got, buff duration, okay. Crit chance, okay. Probably not as necessary as we think anymore now that we've got Elizabeth and Daisy both giving 10%. I really would have loved like attack percent, crit damage. Those two basically. I need to try and get this better. But yeah, let's quickly move on onto her gear. Now, of course she is ultimate move focused, so what you might think straight away is to run like a full set of Arachne gear, because it gives crit chance, a little bit of crit chance, that's nice. Got the ultimate move damage and the crit damage, both 15%. And this helps with the buff and debuff duration, but I really do not think this is the best thing to do. And the reason why is because it only caps at like 120 to 130, which is not very high now that we've got the raid gear. And then as well as the damage boost. So the raid gear has the exact same amount of crit damage and a little bit more crit chance. So that is all in all much better. But it has defense shatter. We know how powerful defense shatter is. Every 1% is roughly 3% damage, overall damage boost. And if you're versus a boss that you have already got buff defense shatter because of say you're in the time space sector that Derieri is buffed, this is definitely going to be the best in slot. Now if not, it is still going to be probably one of the best choices, especially currently with what we have access to, and I'll come to that in a second. Now you can get a total of 29% defense shatter if you do the double tag and you have a ring with crit damage, so about 7% defense shatter on top. So you have 29 in total around, because you get 12, you get 22 from the set, and then another 7% here. That's about 29%. 9 times 3. Remember, we're doing about 3% bonus or overall. That's 27% overall bonus damage, right? Which is still very good. So if we then go back to look at this set, ultimate move damage, only for the ultimate, you're going to get a boosted 15%, which is nearly, well, about 12% less damage. And this is only for the ultimate. So I really don't think this is worth it. I know you can get a little bit more crit chance from the ring, but still, I don't think it's worth it. Plus, if you look at the attack, now, because the Arachne set also can't go up to the 150, 160 that we can get with the raid set, we're going to get about 1800 to 1900 equipment attack just from the ring. Now, if we then look at, say, the promotion setting, which is the raid set, we can get basically 1,000 more equipment attack just from using this ring. So on top of the 12% overall damage buff that we're going to get for everything, not just the ultimate, we're going to get an extra 1,000 attack, which is going to basically multiply everything else as well. Now, why I said at the moment is because if you are unaware, within the knighthood, if we look at the store here, we can get 150 rating set. It only gives 6% crit damage, which is kind of sad, but when you use a tag skill, it increases ultimate move damage by 20 and its crit damage by 20% on the 4 set. But if you get the full 6 set, we're going to get base 20%, which is huge, but then an extra 40 of both. So I think once we get a full set and you can do your tag, right, you're going to do so much damage, and it lasts for 30 seconds. So you're probably going to be able to do both of her ultimates within this, and this is going to make her do an insane amount of damage. It seems like this is kind of like made for her. On top of that, we get a 150 ring, and it gives us a nice amount of all elemental attack, which is going to be really, really nice for her. Just as every other ring, we can also get a crit damage bonus roll at a maximum amount of 13%, which will be massive, right? So if you're lucky enough to get the whole set plus that 13% crit, or just any crit damage roll, it's going to be nuts for her. One question that might come up is her gauntlets better than Black Flame? Because obviously we use Black Flame with Meliodas because he combo ults, gets that buff, and he does a lot more damage because of the crit damage and the attack buff. Well, she has no combo ultimates with her gauntlets, so she will not be getting that very easily. But not on top of that, she's getting a ton of ultimate move damage. She's going to get a really good amount of darkness attack, and again another ton of crit damage here. So basically, no, the Gluttonous Soul Gauntlets are definitely her best in slot weapon. But because of that, do we still want to Darkness Burst? Well, if you have a quick look here, Darkness Burst targets have their darkness defense reduced. And now some people say this is actually resistance. I've done a little bit of testing. I'm going to show you here on the screen now. Without a Darkness Burst, and then with a Darkness Burst, as you can see, you're doing more damage with the Darkness Burst. So I would think that this is a Darkness Defense reduction, not a Darkness Resistance reduction. So your damage does increase. I haven't done a lot of testing. It will need more testing. So please take this with a grain of salt. I got about an 18% damage increase. Now that 18% damage increase is probably not enough to say that Darkness Burst is worth it in comparison to if you brought just another debuffer. So for example, if you have like a P4, P5 Gotha on the book, he's going to reduce the defense. Because her ultimate is so cheap, then you can even get the boosted damage from his ultimate 100% on top of the defense reduction, and then she's just going to go nuts. So I don't think going Burst is the way to go. She does not have anything within her kit where Darkness Burst is going to benefit her like Meliodas does. So I would say skip the Darkness Burst. There's so many other options that's going to probably give you more of a damage buff than if you use a Darkness Burst or a Burst hero in general. Let's have a look at her combo like I was discussing earlier. So we're going to do EE and then Q, 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 and then we're going to ult. So E, E, Q, 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 and now R. We want to wait for that hit. Hit and then use it again. Hit and use it again. And then we can use our extra one. And that is the full combo. So we're having a bit of fun with Marmas. We are just doing the standard stuff. Nothing special, no food or anything, right? So you go in the middle. And go her. E, E, Q, 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 ultimate. Oh, when he moved. Oh, he would have been dead. He would have been dead. Anyway, there we go. One rotation in 37 seconds. It would probably been about 30 seconds, maybe less. And if I had food, even less, right? So even at P5, she clears extremely fast. I even got a new record. So that's pretty cool, right? Now let's have a look at a different one. So we're gonna try on Sector 7. I don't have much hope just because of how RNG it is, you know. Well, I can hit that. That's pretty good. Oh. It's going to ult. So I did quite a lot of damage. Do you know what? Her full rotation for a P5. Remember, this is a P5. Oh my gosh, I hit them both. This is so good. I didn't even realize you can hit people multiple with his ultimate. But yeah, I think that is a good enough showcase of her damage. This is like probably the worst sector for like a darkness character because of how RNG it is. Everyone knows how pathetic it is, right? But we nearly one rotated the live crystal golem. I didn't do the double tag, so I didn't get enough shatter resistance, so that would have helped. I also didn't get the full 3 hit before the extra hit of her R. And the reason this happened is because with her skills, she was hitting multiple units, so she stacked up the showdown so much quicker, which is actually a really good thing to know, right? Because I've already got the free one, so it means that I can't use the third one. So you're losing out on a lot of damage. You're losing out nearly as much as the free one is. I'm not sure if any other content creator would have pointed that out, but if she's versus multiple units, you're going to probably have a lot less DPS outcome with her ultimate than if you were on a solo unit, which is not the end of the world, right? It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. But we're basically losing out on 420% damage. We're going to get this instead. I was planning to do a cracked or sacked video, but I don't think it is necessary. We've seen how nuts she is. It's quite obvious that her multipliers are nuts, even at P5. Now, if you were going to try and get her higher, the stop-off points is probably P6, P7. I think P7 is more for the sporting, because this is insane for Meliodas. And this is pretty decent for as a support, but like for the DPS, you probably don't need to get higher than P6 unless you're going to really go heavy on. And then obviously just might as well go P9, P10. Like this, you just do insane amount of damage. You've probably seen other people do like 11 million damage hits with her. Before I end this video, would I recommend summoning? Is she a must summon? No, right? Gotha was not, I would say, not a must summon. Yes, he is very nice, but again, I would not say he's a must summon. Unlike how Elizabeth was, how she's going to probably be in your team, all your teams, basically for the next probably year or so until someone else comes out that can beat her, especially at P10. Low potential wise, is she worth summoning? Probably not. Again, I think the only reason why you would want to summon her is if you don't have a high potential Meliodas. I think if you have a low potential Meliodas, then a low potential Derieri will definitely outclass him, especially on the longer fights. For speed runs, again, it's going to be very, very hard. I think Meliodas will be better than her at speed runs. Now, another thing you need to consider, and why I would probably wait, especially until the next stream that Netmarble does, is because 2.0 and half year anniversary and Barn is coming, and they said at half year anniversary they're going to start doing reruns. Now, if that's going to be Meliodas, that's probably another good reason to skip, and why I think she's massive bait with how high her multipliers are and how crazy content creators or P10 users are going to showcase her. Unless you love her, unless you don't have a decent Meliodas, skip, or definitely wait until we see the stream. She's definitely a blast to play with if you're looking for some good fun and you haven't summoned in a while, that you did skip Gotha, then yes, maybe get her P5, just to have a bit of fun. Remember, this is a game we're supposed to have fun. I hope you've enjoyed. If you've learned something, if you have enjoyed, do consider liking and subscribing. It would mean the world to me. It really would. Like, I can't thank you guys for like even wanting to come and watch my content compared to others. I really appreciate it, basically. Anyway, enough of that. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, cheerio.